Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TikTok Show. It's your host, the most King Truth, host of Bird, Benny Bowl, Word, Flow. And we coming at you live, man, at 8:18, man. And rest in paradise to Young Noble from the Outlaws, man, West Coast legend. We're doing this little video about, him real quick and all the celebrities that were, how they reacting to him, his passing, as well as Suge Knight talking about his passing too to SKG. So yeah, it's gonna be a quick video, probably maybe about 20 minutes, maybe 15, probably 15. But yeah, let's get into the content, man. Appreciate everybody liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification bell so I know y'all there, so I can throw it to you when it's in the air, man. We gonna keep on going and going, man. Ain't no stopping, man. Ain't no stopping. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Rest in paradise to West Coast legend. I mean, even though he wasn't from the West Coast, he still was a West Coast legend, you know what I'm saying? Young Noble. And big shout outs to the Outlaws, man. Without a doubt, man. And definitely Pac would be sad if he was still here, man, because I was one of his close friends, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, but we gonna get right into this, man. We gonna get right into it. This is gonna be Napoleon from the Outlaws reacting to the passing of Young Noble.
With some, with Young Noble, who I look at as a family member. And, one thing I just want to mention, I don't lie in interviews. I don't chase clout. I don't do things for likes and views. So for you to do an interview, and the only reason I'm addressing this publicly because you mentioned these things publicly, so I figure I have a right to, respond publicly in a respectful manner, of course. So when you mention these things to try to make it seem like I'm lying in my interviews by saying,
don't think that's the right approach that he should have done when he's, making the condolence video. Yeah, don't think he should have hit that approach that type of way, man. I don't think that was very respectful to Young Noble, man. He should have just sat there and said, rest in paradise to my brother Young Noble, man. Sad to see him go. Condolences to his family. Nah, he said, let me address this real quick, what you said in this interview before you passed away. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that's very cordial, but all right, let's keep on going.
That the story with Jim Belushi and the hamburger, you know what I'm talking about, was something I just pretty much ain't know what I was talking about. You're going to tell the true story. Then you say the same exact words as I said when you explain the story. Even everybody in the comments was confused and say, why did you say Moo was wrong or wasn't correct? And you explained the same story. I said, that's nothing. Alhamdulillah, I can't really, dwell on that. That wasn't nothing. I didn't take offense to that. And then again, even though it doesn't matter, it happened over 20-some years ago, but alhamdulillah, I'm glad that it did happen because I didn't want to be on the stage with Diddy. Then you once again made it seem like I didn't snatch the mic from him, which I said this is ignorant stuff. It happened 20-some years ago before I was a Muslim. But it's one of the moments that I can say I'm proud of, that I didn't stay on the stage and perform next to a person that it might seem like he had something to do with the death of a good friend of mine, which is Pac, and I didn't stay on the stage with Diddy. So you pretty much said, like, it's not like he snatched the mic from him. His song was finishing. He, as if I grabbed the mic once again, but then you say we got kicked out of the MTV. If I didn't snatch the mic from him, then why did we get kicked out of the MTV? I sabotaged it purposely because I didn't want to be on the stage with an individual that my friend passed away having some difficulty.
Okay. I can kind of see where he's coming from now. I still feel like he could have done it a better approach, but he was saying that basically if you go back to that dialogue interview with Young Noble, he does sit there and mention Napoleon saying that he didn't, steal that money from Puff, or that him and Jim Belushi, you know, they didn't bump into each other at that burger joint. Now these are stories that Napoleon is told. I think I don't know if it was Dialogue or another platform. It might have been Lad, but he said that in an interview before, and so basically, Young Noble debunked it in the Dialogue interview. So basically, he kind of made it sound like Napoleon was really lying, and so that kind of hurt his pride a little bit, and so that's why he's responding now, though. But I feel like he could have had a better time to respond, maybe give it a couple weeks, man. The man just passed away, so. But yeah,
with. I figure like loyalty is something that we have to take to our graves. Like I said, alhamdulillah to the kids, to make it clear, these things are ignorant. But the only reason I'm really replying back is because you coming off as if I'm lying in my interviews. And I have receipts, alhamdulillah. You know, Steve LaBelle got a video up where he said the reason why the MTV was shut down that day because Napoleon snatched the mic from Diddy, because I didn't want to be on the stage with an individual who my friend at that time was beefing, who didn't like.
yeah.
I just feel like loyalty, no matter fame, no matter money, should make you not stick to a friend, even though he passed away. Your loyalty is very important, and that's the reason why I did that. So, and then again, I see comments where you once again saying, "Oh, these are his stories, Muta stories. He left the group in 2003," as if these stories are not true. I don't have reason to.
I mean, yeah, I can sit here and say that he did kind of say it like it was a lie, or that Napoleon was telling a fib. But I still feel like Napoleon should have waited later on to, address this, because at the end of the day, the man just passed away, man. I mean, I don't know. You can take it how you want to take it. Like he said, it's about loyalty, but he also said too, shout out to all my Muslim brothers. You feel me? They don't conduct things of that nature. They're revolutionary. They're not savage ways, and they don't do savage people. They're not savage people. They don't do savage things. So that's why he kept going back to, oh, that was when I was ignorant, and these were ignorant times and all this. Wouldn't you think? And now I'm asking my Muslim brothers, how do y'all look at this? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that he shouldn't even address this, since that was when he was back in the day when he was doing ignorant, evil things, stuff of that nature? Or do you think it's something that he still had to get off his chest due to his pride, but at that time, before he found, the faith and everything, and, changed his life? So, I mean, I don't know. You could take it however you want to take it, though.
Alhamdulillah, yes, I left the group 2003 after I accepted the religion of Islam. Alhamdulillah, one of the best decisions I ever made. But I just want to address it in a respectful manner. I don't even, we just spoke a couple of days ago. We just talked before that a couple months ago. So that's why it's really taking me by surprise, because we're in contact with each other. So if you've had these things in your heart, or I said something wrong that you didn't like, I just don't know why when we was on the phone with each other, you didn't tell me these things. I have to hear it from an interview. But once again, alhamdulillah, that's the past.
We was going to show up and do this in honor Pac, Mind you, earlier, Puffy, he was walking around. He wanted to talk to us, but we didn't want to talk to him. He wound up talking to Big Psych, though. So Big Psych from Thug Life was with us. And him and Puffy probably was around each other in the early days when Pac was around them dudes, you know what I'm saying? And, so Puffy walked up to Big Psych and they stepped to the side and they had a conversation. But, we ain't had nothing to say. We didn't want to talk to that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And so he was doing his part. And then Puffy was almost done with the song. And Moo walked up and, kind of like grabbed the mic, like, the song was over. It was our time to go. He ain't walk up like, you give me the mic, but, he walked up like, and, Puff kind of took offense to that, like, hold on, Playboy. Next thing you know, all these ninjas jumped on stage and security, all these motherfuckers and shit. We're like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? And yeah, so little, little melee. They wind up, we wind up getting escorted out, trying to see if we're gonna be able to come back.
So you see how he just said, okay, he didn't run up and grab the mic. He just cordially took the mic, like, hey, it's our time now. Like, hey, it's we on set now. Like, you know what I'm saying? We finna perform type shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Who knows the real story? Only people that know the real story, people that are there. So.
Later to perform, but we ended up not being able to perform that night,
Young Noble, now you can finally see Pac again. TMZ reported he killed himself today. May he rest in Lord.
Roger. Tell these
King Gus.
subscribe to the Prophet channel.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, shout out to the Prophet muscle thing, the Prophet muscle.
As a business owner, your to-do list runs deep, and cybersecurity.
Shout out to Top Media TV as well. Here we go.
What it do, y'all? We back with another video, man, and the drama just keeps going on. So Young Noble of the Outlaws just passed away. Y'all know Young Noble from the Outlaws, Tupac rap group. The Outlaws, passed away. Now, he had passed away earlier, but nobody really knew how he had passed away. So pretty much breaking news, man. Young Noble actually committed suicide.
Nah, I feel like it might have been a sacrifice or something like of that nature. I don't know, I can't really say, but I really I don't believe it was suicide now. Yeah, nah, I don't, nah. No, I do not. Jimbo G, shout out to you, man. Welcome to the show. All right.
Y'all know he did an interview with the Art of Dialogue, looking kind of stressed out. Said he was battling some health issues, whatever the case may be. But, whatever happened, I believe he might have been going through some mental issues. And so Young Noble passed away, apparently from suicide. It's crazy, man, because he was just dropping music. He seemed like he was cool. He had dropped a song with Trey D not too long ago. So I really don't know what he was going through mentally for him to commit suicide. But that's the official cause of death as to why Young Noble passed away and how he had passed away. So Idi Amin of the Outlaws pretty much, explained what went down with Young Noble, and he explained how he had passed away. So this article goes on to say, Young Noble, a core member of the legendary hip-hop group, the Outlaws, has died at the age of 47. Idi Amin, his longtime friend and musical partner, confirmed the news on Instagram. So this is what Idi Amin says, y'all. Today, I got some of the worst and unexpected news imaginable. My brother and partner for over 30.
Yeah, I got you. Today, I got some unexpected news, unimaginable. My brother and partner for over 30 years took his life this morning. Idi Amin wrote, "Rest in power, Rufus Young Noble Cooper. I obviously am in no shape to talk about this right now, so please give his family and I some time to process this." EDI also urged fans to take mental health seriously, adding to check on your folks. Real stuff, man. Nah, for real, that's real.
Yes, took his life this morning. Rest in power, Rufus Young Noble Cooper. Obviously, I am in no shape to talk about this right now, so please give his family and I some time to process this. TMZ reported that Noble, born Rufus Lee Cooper III, was found in Atlanta with a gunshot wound that appeared self-inflicted. In 2021, Noble survived a major heart attack and shared his journey to recovery. God is good, too good, he wrote at the time. This will only make me stronger. Now, Young Noble, was doing interviews recently going off on Muta, Napoleon from the Outlaws. He also was saying how, the death of Gaddafi was, it wasn't a mistake. It was a situation that Napoleon's cousin, took Gaddafi's life. He explained how Gaddafi
Oh yeah, he did, but he was talking about that. You're right. Yeah, I remember hearing that.
was from his hood, and he felt like there was some foul play involved. So y'all know Napoleon, Muta,
Interview.
and Young Noble was going back and forth recently.
Yeah.
When Young Noble did an interview with the Art of Dialogue.
There it is.
Either way, y'all, whatever he was going through, it seemed like it was so severe that he needed to take his own life, which of course I don't agree with. God gave you a life. You're not supposed to take your own life, no matter what you're going through. But I guess he felt like whatever he was going through was too strong for him to handle, to go through with it.
Yeah.
It affected him so bad that he had committed suicide. So that's what we know. We might not never know why he committed suicide and what was bothering him. But either way, y'all, he passed away. He committed suicide. So rest in peace to Young Noble, man. So that's exactly what went down with Young Noble from the Outlaws. Rest in peace. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all don't forget the comment section below. Peace, y'all.
Shopify is a platform that helps entrepreneurs get started down the path they want. Sometimes starting a business can be scary. I feel like I lost.
Check me out. Yeah, dirt poor growing up. I never had my own room. My mama cooking that work up. She burnt up all the spoons, graduated from the block. I ain't never finished school. No, it wasn't cool. That's why I chose. Give them jewels, all the lessons that I learned. Played the game by the rules. Never hustle where you live. Never argue with a fool.
Yeah, that was hard though. You heard that? That was hard. Yeah. Let's go.
If you depend on them to feed you, you gave the power to starve you. All I did was show love and they hated me something awful. Be careful. Cut my circle down to a handful. Smiling in your face and their heart. Can't stand you, two-faced it. My heart got broke. Two places, feeling like Nipsey, tipsy. Bumping blue laces. Wanna bait me with old beef and see me with new cases. Shit ain't been the same since they killed my nigga in Vegas. Motivated by the pain. Motivated by the haters. I'm still spitting that shit. 25 years later, never signed to a major. Stayed independent. These ain't just raps, little nigga. I really lived it. Calm. Don't be alarmed. I'm a time bomb ticking. Young living legend. Pen game vicious. Outlaw records. Don't think for a second I won't put this mic down and pick up. It's Mac 11, the spirit of Machiavelli. Psych, fatal, and felony. It's outlaw shit. I'm precisely the epitome. Carried the torch high. Did it all in a memory. You gotta say a word. Feel it in your energy. Hate me or you love me. Don't matter long as you mention me. Streets real slippery. Watch where you walking. There's no more talking. All bite, no barking. Everybody love you once you laying in the coffin. When you alive and shining, you most likely a target. Leave your ass leaking like a faucet. You cross me. All family, no friends. The game cost me. Pay the price of sweet revenge. How much it cost me. Success tastes sweeter. Bag full of cheaper. Carhartt suit. 10 boots and a beeper. This 9mm can make me the Grim Reaper. You ain't even cracked the code and get deeper. You don't know how much crack I sold as a youngin'. Never known for rapping, I was known for hustling. Never known for ratting, I was known for thugging. All these niggas do is blog, they ain't known for nothing. But running they dick suckers, gossiping like broads. It's all fun and games to somebody in the morgue. It was all your fault. Don't poke a lion, awake and sleep a giant. Get greeted with the iron. We gon' leave him where we find him. Sometime you gotta remind him. Outlaw shit is forever. We timeless. Yeah. Sometime you gotta remind them. This outlaw shit is forever. We timeless. Yeah.
The rumor about y'all smoking Tupac ashes. Is there any truth to that or no?
Yeah, we talking truth, man. I'm gonna tell you what happened. It was the day of Pac's memorial in Malibu, California. Private ceremony, close friends, family, mom, everybody. We get back to the crib. We in his room, he's gone. He just died. We're actually in his bedroom. We're smoking, we're drinking, and we're just trying to numb the pain. We're sitting there and we're listening to Black Jesus, the song. It's unreleased. Nobody heard none of these songs yet. And we listening to it. It's our brother that just passed away. We hearing him different now. You know what I mean? In the verse, he says, we died clutching glasses, filled with liquor and blasted. Cremated last wishes, smoked my ashes. So mind you, we in there just minding our business. We hear him say that. And everybody kind of like looked at each other. We hear him Pac saying, cremated last wishes, nigga, smoked my ashes. We heard what he said, man. you know, and his ashes was downstairs. Like, well, what we gonna do, you know? So Gaddafi, he winds up going downstairs, you know, all Pac, his family, they all down there. He sneaked some ashes in a napkin, man, and he bring them upstairs. He did it. He the only one who left out the room to go. Came back with it. I had the blunt. We sprinkled a little bit on there. I sprinkled a little bit on there, and I rolled it up, and we passed that motherfucker around. For us, it was the highest honor we could give our brother in that moment. Me and Edie was talking, and he said, Pac had a friend that was an Indian. His family, I guess they was having a ritual this night where they was like celebrating one of their deceased loved ones. Whatever they had in the peace pipe, they put some of the ashes of family member in the ashes, and they was passing it around. And Edie told me the story later, like, Pac always thought like that was the coolest shit ever, that he saw a family like hitting the ashes, where it's like it was an honor thing for them. It was like, you're going to live on through us. You're going to be in our system. You're going to be in our heart. You're going to be in our spirit. You know, this ain't something that we just thought that we just want to do. Like, it was like we did it. And ain't nothing to be ashamed about. For us, man, it was like the highest honor we could give him in that moment. He in our spirit, man. He in our hearts forever.
Young Noble, now you can finally see Pac again. TMZ reported he killed himself today. May he rest in the Lord.
Roger. Tell these
King Gus.
subscribe to the Prophet channel.
Oh, they got you.
Numbers the other way, attacks and slams.
Dreams do come true. I am showering on Netflix.
What it do, y'all? We back with another video, man, and the drama just keeps going on. So Young Noble of the Outlaws just passed away. Y'all know Young Noble from the Outlaws, Tupac rap group. The Outlaws, passed away. Now, he had passed away earlier, but nobody really knew how he had passed away. So pretty much breaking news, man. Young Noble actually committed suicide. Y'all know he did an interview with the Art of Dialogue, looking kind of stressed out. Said he was battling some health issues, whatever the case may be. But whatever happened, I believe he might have been going through some mental issues. And so Young Noble passed away, apparently from suicide. It's crazy, man, because he was just dropping music. He seemed like he was cool. He had dropped a song with Trey D not too long ago. So I really don't know what he was going through mentally for him to commit suicide. But that's the official cause of death as to why Young Noble passed away and how he had passed away. So Idi Amin of the Outlaws pretty much, explained what went down with Young Noble, and he explained how he had passed away. So this article goes on to say, Young Noble, a core member of the legendary hip-hop group, the Outlaws, has died at the age of 47. Idi Amin, his longtime friend and musical partner, confirmed the news on Instagram. So this is what Idi Amin says, y'all. Today, I got some of the worst and unexpected news imaginable. My brother and partner for over 30 years took his life this morning. Rest in power. Rufus Young Noble Cooper. Obviously, I am in no shape to talk about this right now, so please give his family and I some time to process this. TMZ reported that Noble, born Rufus Lee Cooper III, was found in Atlanta with a gunshot wound that appeared self-inflicted. In 2021, Noble survived a major heart attack and shared his journey to recovery. God is good, too good, he wrote at the time. This will only make me stronger. Now, Young Noble, was doing interviews recently going off on Muta, Napoleon from the Outlaws. He also was saying how, the death of Gaddafi was, it wasn't a mistake. It was a situation that Napoleon's cousin took Gaddafi's life. He explained how Gaddafi was from his hood and he felt like there was some foul play involved. So y'all know Napoleon, Muta, and Young Noble was going back and forth recently. When Young Noble did an interview with the Art of Dialogue. Either way, y'all, whatever he was going through, it seemed like it was so severe that he needed to take his own life, which of course I don't agree with. God gave you a life. You're not supposed to take your own life, no matter what you're going through. But I guess he felt like whatever he was going through was too strong for him to handle, to go through with it. It affected him so bad that he had committed suicide. So that's what we know. We might not never know why he committed suicide and what was bothering him. But either way, y'all, he passed away. He committed suicide. So rest in peace to Young Noble, man. So that's exactly what went down with Young Noble from the Outlaws. Rest in peace. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all don't forget the comment section below. Peace, y'all.
In business, you only get one chance to make a great first impression. Observe the panic in his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. Shh, he's about to bolt. Watch. And there he goes. You're not getting that customer back. Your website is your waiting room. Make a great first impression with CookieBot's customizable cookie banners and start building trust through privacy-led marketing. Get started for free at cookiebot.com.
Somehow drop, I get them in all flavors. Easy big, you put your neighbors. 2 extra whores up in this new acting with 2 extra doors. With a quick flip, I'll try to stretch for more. 100% power, extra raw. And I get it from the second. Either him or the essay. I've been snacking these rappers around for a decade. Still trying to get money to suck another legend. Know if I take it out, I can pop it the next day. The Black Mamba, the vocals, NJ, the Pro Tools, anti-social.
I meant to put New Jersey, but West Coast Legend is just because he had a stamp on the West Coast, so that's why I put that. But yeah, man, we'll get right back into it.
Still jacking the track, but I can't go you. This is just audio shit that I don't do. Guns in the couch, money in the mattress, and I wanted got the Bentley, but I had to pay taxes. 7-4 polo fit, some air bags, flows of light spray, minds is a fraction. Yeah, but the X-ray's negative. You just coward in jail, you can never live. Nah, you barely living out here. The reason you breathing is like I'm giving out shares. Stop, giving out shares. That don't talk, but they giving out years. I don't know you, you ain't familiar. I don't care who shout you, they ain't kill you. As the words play, I'm a son of a bitch. Oh my God.
My dad was from West Jersey though. But yeah, shout out to New Jersey though, man. Yeah, my dad's from West Jersey and shit. But yeah, no, for sure. He definitely a New Jersey legend. I just put the West Coast just because he made his stamp on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't none of them kids. MTV, y'all know I'm once the list. The jury is safe, and ain't none of them rich. Notice they keep watching them. There's no stopping them. Beat that crutch, let it sway Louis Vuitton. It won't dry up, you can't ball up. Hands get sweat, you can Gucci tie ups. Overlook the city, my nigga. I can get your brain blown out for $5. Always in the hood. That's because I read that. Paperwork good. It's already tracked that. Rock is comfortable, but that's what's that. I'm still the 40s. Check that. Check this, y'all.
What's the time go by? Puffin' on live. Young Noble, now you can finally see Pac again. TMZ reported he killed himself today. May he rest in Lord.
So I just got some news that Noble from the Outlaws died today, Suge, and I wanted to get, your view on that, on how you feel about the situation.
Sad as the situation is, or sad as his facts is in the world, I mean, in the United States, it seems like we get shit sometime in prison faster than y'all get shit on the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I first heard that, then talking to you and then we talking to now, it's such a situation like this. I can't be nobody yet. But I know we all got things we struggle with. Some things we can be struggling with for a long time. And I'm not saying Pac is always a no here. But I can't speak for no. I can speak for myself and a lot of people I do talk to. Pac made an incredible impact on a lot of people's lives. When the jealousy.
Yeah, no, a lot of people were jealous though, you know what I'm saying? But hey, look, you gotta commend Suge for, saying anything like real positive about the situation, you know what I'm saying? Not having no bad blood. A lot of people, that after a certain year, they all kind of weren't on talking terms no more. So for Suge to still sit there and be like, it's a sad day, send his condolences, you feel me? I feel like that's definitely commendable from Suge, man. Shout out to Suge Knight, man.
The hatred and assassination of taking Tupac away from here that affected a lot of people. A lot of people. And I can only imagine, like, Wu-Tang going through, Lil Noble was going through. I knew about Wu-Tang's little brother when he was a baby, and Pac told me the story of how when people came to the house to do something to their family, he was so young they hit him in the dresser. The dresser drawer closed him up in it and pulled the Pac. You have somebody that much into your life where he really cares. It's always great to have somebody, some type of family member, some type of friend that they can give you the truth and be there for you, allow you to get through it. That's like a bad loss for hip hop. A lot of times
a sad loss on hip hop, man. Yeah, because he was a hip hop legend. Yeah, I put West Coast legend because he made his stamp on the West Coast. Definitely a New Jersey legend, East Coast legend. I just put West Coast because he did make his stamp out here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, definitely a sad day in hip hop. So
always don't get along with each other. And every time we lose somebody in hip hop, that affects us all. It's also affect our growth. We gotta start learning from our past and make our future better than our past. And the last thing I would like to say is that it's so important that we stop allowing people to rewrite history. Just some people just can't deal with that. When somebody can get on a platform or get on a microphone and try to erase people, cigars, their history, it affects people differently. Last thing, we should always remember, everyone who contributed to making hip-hop What did he?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So once again, if you always live in someone else's life, yours will never get started. Did what you did.
I just feel it's a sad situation, and I feel like people can be out and still mentally be in prison, you know, and you gotta mental health awareness is so important, especially in this industry, because you can be up one day, down the other, and if a person don't know how to mentally deal with that, it can take a mental toll on them. I don't know what he was going through, but you know, may God rest his soul, and I hope that he's finally at peace.
Well, I'm quite sure he is. Either way, he was a strong young man, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know when I started Death Row Records, I was a young man myself starting Death Row Records. But I know now with the Row Records, it's about the youth. It's about the artists. It's about helping each other. It's about laying out the truth so we can do better. Not just for ourselves, for each other.
Right.
If you're just doing things just to benefit you, that's just benefit you. We got to do things to benefit the numbers.
No, for sure. Definitely what SKG said with the mental health, man. Check on your people, man. You never know who's going through it, and they might not be able to word it out to you either, or have enough, have enough strength to put their pride aside and let them, you know, hey, I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, check on your people, man. Mental health awareness for sure. But yeah, man, I feel like what both of them said was some real spill.
When you guys out there, and the role should represent any person who's serious about the culture of hip hop, culture of our people, and don't let nobody erase our past or allow on our present and destroy our future. But shit, I know you busy. I know you feel since I'm in prison, I'm not busy. But
No,
I'm making some gumbo right now. You know what I mean?
I know
my
you
rice is going,
busy.
my shrimp is going, my chicken is going. You know what I mean? I got the turkey sausage going. I'm making some real ass gumbo.
Okay, I see you.
Everybody today with this gumbo. And I'm out.
Building your online business?
Okay, boom. What's the next one we got? We got any more of these? I think that's about it, man. Oh, we can check out part of this.
Top of the bag. What's going on? Hope y'all had a great 4th. If you celebrate the 4th, let's talk about it. You know, it's kind of hard for me to believe that young Noble committed suicide. And according to Fox 5 out there in ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, they have no record of this man's death. How are you in Atlanta, Georgia? You're part of Tupac's entourage, and nobody has accurate information on this dude. This man's body's not even cold yet. And the rumors that's out about the suicide thing is crazy. Bro, even if somebody's in a house with you and they say, yo, I heard a gunshot in the next room, and I opened the door and Noble was on the floor dead, I think it's suicide. I seen the gun. They are supposed to do a diligent investigation, a homicide investigation, the coroner's report before a homicide investigation, the medical exam report. Where that shit at? How y'all putting on a suicide and none of this shit has been taking place yet?
So has there? Let me know in the comments. Has there been any actual like evidence of it being a suicide, like other than just the rumors? Has there been an autopsy yet? Man, I know the list was what Friday this happened. Friday was 4th of July, right? Because what, right? Friday was the 4th. Yeah. Friday was the 4th. So yeah, man, it's already Monday. So you would think there would be a little bit more information on this for sure. Definitely, it's crazy that there isn't enough information on it yet. As far as being a suicide, I don't know. It's kind of tricky to really think about it like that. Then again, it could have been some mental health stuff going on with him. But then again, it's like he was just dropping music. He was just going on a lot of interviews. It just kind of makes you feel like, I don't know, maybe they thought he was talking too much and something happened, whatever, But I don't know, man. I don't know. I really, there isn't enough information on it to really speculate if it was a suicide or not. But if you can't make for sure that it was a suicide, though, like, I mean, that's just what we could go off right now. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? In the next week or so, a couple of days, there's going to be more information about it. That's when we could really, see what's going on, type of thing. But shout out to It's Creation.
I don't think it's right to the Tupac Nation, the Outlaws Nation, Thug Life Nation. Ninjas is saying, oh, because I wasn't a young noble advocate, that we're not supposed to. What? Ninja, I never wanted Noble dead. I don't want Edie dead.
Oh, so okay, this is somebody that really knew Young Noble then. Do y'all know who this is? I know he's brother from New York. I just don't.
The bill, I never even wanted Napoleon dead. Only one person I ever said I want him in a box, and that's Gina Dill. Drop comments below. I'm the one that said Gina Dill, put his doofy ass in a box. I'm very transparent.
Whoa, that's some crazy stuff to say. Put his goofy ass in a box, man. Whoa, put his goofy ass in a box. It's crazy work, man. So can y'all let me know in the comments who he is? I know the brother from New York. Did he have a close relationship with Young Noble, Napoleon, or any of the Outlaws? Let me know, because I'm really trying to understand who this person is.
You understand me? Yeah, did Young Noble ride for Pac and Edie Amin ride for Pac like we needed him to? No, he didn't. Only towards the end he did, yeah. But when he didn't, that don't mean ninjas wanted him dead. I never even heard of a Pac fan that wanted Noble dead. I've never known.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a Pac fan either that wanted Noble dead. I think everybody that's more Tupac Outlaw fans, we're always still rooting for, for Noble. As far as that goes, yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy that somebody would try to speculate that. Like I said, who is this? He's a brother from New York. I don't know who he really is, though. Like, I'm trying to really break it down to see who he is, but because it's about an hour video. We probably gonna do maybe 10 minutes of it, and we're gonna go on to the next video, man. But yeah.
Nobody ever said that on my channel. They want the Outlaws dead. Even Yasmin Fuller, as much as she called them crow laws, she never wanted these ninjas dead. Y'all ninjas are animals. Whoever's on my channel talking about, oh, you wasn't a Noble fan, yo, nigga. Y'all ninjas you're the animals. So we're supposed to say, oh, because he didn't arrive for Pac the way we wanted him to, that we don't ask questions like, yo, what happened to this man? Where's the medical exam report? Y'all goofy. Y'all ninjas is goofy. Stay off my channel. I swear.
Yeah, that is some goofy stuff. That is some goofy stuff. Is there any? I like what he's saying. It's just gonna be. I want to see if there's anybody else that can really break it down. If not, we'll go right back to him and just kind of. I think we did all of them, man. Yeah. All right, we'll see what.
And Rich Gang, if you see any fucking dumb comments, y'all didn't just zap them just for life. They off this channel for life. For life. I want them off my channel for life. You understand me? This man, his body is not even cold yet. Right? And the amount of shenanigans that I've seen online is because of the media. TMZ, how you pronounce any kind of suicide without all the facts, the details, who's the family, who's the relatives, who he lived with. For all we know, Young Noble faked his death. Ninjas is saying rest in peace. But if Edie called TMZ, listen to me, man. My father told me never count a man dead unless you bodied him yourself. Unless you bodied him yourself, and you know for sure you bodied that man, you never say a ninja dead. Shook said nobody saw Pac dead. So you mean to tell me we supposed to go off the strength of Edie Afin? Edie Afin called TMZ. So this is what we supposed to be doing? Because Edie Afin said, he called TMZ and Ninja, I want to hear from the Ninja family. His girl, his baby moms, his daughters, whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm not taking shit from Edie Afin. You want me to believe Edie Afin? The idiot Afin? You want me to believe Edie? So Edie called TMZ and said, my man's passed? What? Anybody could do that. Bro.
Okay. So he clearly doesn't believe it. Let's just see if there's anything else that we can find about this.
You have a killer e-commerce store, but your conversion rate, not so killer. You've spent so much money and effort on conversion rate optimization that just aren't.
It's your boy Street Cred, 4K, all day, back like I never left. Let's have a moment of silence for the fallen soldier and outlaw from Tupac's crew, the Young Noble. Prayers to his family, prayers to his prayers to everyone that loved Young Noble, prayers to his fans. It's a shame. They say that he passed from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Already my suspicion goes up because I was paying close attention when he was recently started making his way back on the scene as of the last year, putting music out.
Yeah, he's putting music out. It was saying a lot of conspiracies going out. He was going on dialogue a lot and a lot of different other interviews, speaking about a lot of different things. That's why I was going to say that too. It just kind of makes you think, I don't know, man. I don't know if that suicide is for sure. It's a for sure thing, man. I definitely feel like there does need to be more research and more info on that before we could just sit there and put that jacket on it. And that would be for sure, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, we got to still speculate that it's something else, man, because not enough evidence to sit there and say it was suicide, man.
Excited about what he was doing, felt like he needed to keep Pac's name alive. Not that the other outlaws didn't. They absolutely do. Idi Amin, Napoleon, all these dudes continue to operate, continue to uplift their fallen leader, Tupac. But Young Noble, recently I seen him on an interview, and you never know what demons are going on in somebody's mind, but he was talking like he was perfectly fine. Check it out.
It felt like hip hop was dying. Like this ain't how it's supposed to be. Like we didn't wish that on Biggie and nothing like that. It felt devastating. And mind you, like we're the outlaws, so Hit 'Em Up was out, Pac died. It's like not involved, but it's just the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? Well, Noble don't rap on Hit 'Em Up. He don't know Biggie. He don't know these motherfuckers. But I'm part of the group. I'm you indirect line of fire without even being in. You get what I'm trying to say. So it was like we felt their pain, man. We felt their pain, bro. Like it was I just remember like everybody calling us, checking up on us, where y'all at, trying to make sure we safe and all that type of shit. Because it was just a crazy time. Wasn't no social media, nothing back then. Like, they got shot the same way. Pac and Biggie got, drive by, shooting the doors. It's like, outlaws, y'all need to lay low. Like who's next? Somebody gonna roll up and you just never fucking know. It's a lot of money. Niggas got millions and shit on both, Me as an 18-year-old kid, man, that shit was crazy. When I was 18, all that happened. Pac died, Gaddafi died, Fatal left the group, Machiavelli dropped, Biggie died. All that shit happened when I was 18 years old, man. It was I got a 17-year-old daughter, man. It was crazy. That Biggie dying affected us too. Like it felt to me, I was almost like questioning, like, damn, man, maybe I should have stayed in school and figured something else out. Like I don't know if I made the right decision getting in the car with Fatal and Yaki that day. This doesn't feel good. I left the hood to come to California. I was tired of death and all this bullshit. Two of my friends just died back to back, like the same way Pac and Yak died. A year before that, Al G and Storm died.
A year before.
Yeah.
I'm here. Sorry. Whew. I wanted to show you guys this new marketing tool that I found. I connected it to our CRM and to my personal dating profile.
What new marketing tool? And you connected to what?
Apps that slip through the cracks can pose a big risk. LastPass gives you visibility and protection for all your managed and unmanaged apps.
Maybe it's the password from my dating profile.
Every login lives in LastPass.
Rejected. I guess it really is linked to my dating profile.
Back to back, so it's like I'm just, that shit was just, it was horrible for hip hop, just horrible, period, man. So even like these days I'll be like social media and go on YouTube, everybody going to, it's all fun and games until it's almost like, did niggas even learn anything from Pac and Biggie? It's just like, did you niggas learn any fucking thing from that? That's why I ain't did an interview in 7 fucking years.
Yeah, okay. I could definitely see where he's coming from, man. For sure. All this internet beef and rap beef, people are dying like they ain't even learned from the Biggie and Pac situation. That was the first known hip hop beef that really got that serious, man. I mean, that was really spoke about like that. And of course, there's other ones, but that's one of the big ones, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I definitely feel like, it has turned into fun and games and all that. Yeah.
Years, man. Like, why explain the game if niggas ain't fucking listening? Pac said it best. Save my fucking breath. spend some time with my family, go on a vacation, trying to convince you niggas of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit was horrible when Biggie died, man. Just all around the board, you know? I was like, damn, this ain't the hip hop I grew up on. You know, Pac was like the first. Scott LaRock died before Pac, but Scott LaRock was a DJ. He wasn't. BDP was everything. I love those, but they you know, Pac was the first major rapper to die in that fashion like that. You know what I mean? And you know, I was right there front and center. You know what it was. You know, to this day they you know, let them tell it he's still alive underground like Bin Laden somewhere hiding, or you know, in Cuba or whatever they want to say every other goddamn day. But nah, he really died. I really was in the hospital. You know, I really saw him with tubes in his body. You know, I really saw his body full of fluid, real big. Like he wasn't skinny with the 6-pack. Body was full, you know. He really fucking died on us, you know. He probably could have lived. His mama said, nah, fuck all that. You know, I think he lost his finger, trying to do, I think he was gonna lose a lung. They was trying to do all these surgeries. You know how strong your mama gotta be to say, damn, he probably could make it. I don't want my son to endure no more pain in this world. Y'all tear him down, you know, that shit is devastating. She let son go. Pac ain't die. Fanny said, let my son fly. That's it. You know? Bruh, can you imagine that? I mean, a guy as amazing as him, the world in his fucking palms. His mama like, F that. Let him go. Let him go. Let him fly. Y'all don't even fucking deserve him. You know? He been gone since I was 18. I'm 46. So all motherfuckers want to do is get on camera and dissect his fucking life. It was amazing.
Nah, that's real. That's real words right there. That's some heartfelt shit right there. You can tell he's real passionate, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. He was going on a lot of these interviews and stuff, and letting it be known, you know, how he felt. I feel like maybe, you know, somebody said he felt like he was talking too much, man. I really don't believe it was a suicide, man. And yeah, man, it gets that's crazy.
Think that niggas can't take nothing from that nigga. You hear me? Niggas can't take nothing from no fucking Tupac. Crazy? Nigga was everything, man. Died at 25.
No, that was a very heavy moment in talking about how even the death of Biggie affected him, but more so when he started to talk about Pac. This many years later, he is still heavily affected by the death of Pac and how Pac passed. You know, rest in peace to Young Noble. For y'all that don't know who Young Noble is, because there's people out there who are not from that era. They never even really listened to Pac because he wasn't from their generation. You know, Pac, in my eyes, again, you know, is the greatest of all time. He will always be the greatest of all time. Others will come who will be.
Pac will always be the greatest of all time over everybody, man. Over everybody. For sure.
Be great, but no one, I believe, can touch what Pac did in 25 years. Not ever. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And so Young Noble was one of his hand-picked people to come into the Outlaws. You know, and really when one of the Outlaws named Hussein Fatal, you know, left the Outlaws, Noble really replaced him as an outlaw.
Picked it back up when, you know, when he left, Noble came in and picked it back up, man. And that's why I said Noble was a West Coast legend as well because of being out there in the West Coast, you feel me, during the Outlaws and stuff like that, being around Death Row and all that. So definitely, I still say he's an East Coast legend. He's also a West Coast legend, man, because he made his stamp on the West Coast as well, man.
You know, and toward the end, he was kind of in the background. But let's take a moment to listen to him on Machiavelli the Don's 7-Day Theory of Tupac, Hail Mary. Hail Mary, home with me. That will always be a timeless hit. And that's to the brother Young Noble. Here's one of his latest videos.
Yeah, rest in peace, big bro. Yeah, it's outlaw for life. Earn mine, motherfucker, gotta earn your stripes. Come on. I swear about getting myself together. The human being, a young man, and he's a black man. So, of course,
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube.
I mean, you never know when things are gonna happen. You never know what somebody going through. They're saying that he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I have to say I don't believe it. I have to say that I believe that Young Noble knew so much, and he was starting to come out and speak about things. And I don't want to put conspiracy theories out there. I'm just saying, if you look at that interview, he don't really look like a brother to me that's ready to.
I'm saying, man, he was just big, dropping music, going on, doing a lot of interviews. I really don't. He might have been dealing with mental health, but it didn't really look like it. Man, of course, never looks like it, but I feel like, yeah, we should still speculate this situation, man. Still do a better research, do a deep dive on it before we sit there and say it's a fact that it was suicide, man. Not to try to put no conspiracy theories out there either, like bro said, you feel me? But yeah.
Put a gun to his head and call it a day. He just doesn't look like that to me. He don't look like somebody that's gonna put a gun to his head and call it a day. Like, it don't look like that to me. He don't sound like that to me. But who am I? But there are many people in the past who died that knew information that so-called died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, so-called died from suicide. Many people can be killed or have a hit put on them and it looked like a suicide.
Yeah.
But I think nobody's going to make that kind of, nobody's going to make that kind of argument because Young Noble wasn't really, he wasn't as relevant.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, he's right about that too. Because a lot of people, they don't even know who Young Noble was. Like he said, they're the newer generation barely knows who Pac was, man, which is crazy. But yeah,
he wasn't really of this generation.
Yeah.
So I don't think nobody's going to make a real fuss about it. But just for me being, listening to the Outlaws when they came out with Tupac and Outlaws album, and even before that, on all the records that he was on, I know that this type of thing, he just didn't seem like he was the person to do that. You come across some people seem like they're the type to commit suicide or they may have it in them. Real ninjas don't really commit suicide. We just don't really do it. Like if somebody say that I committed suicide, or that's all capsy. That's capsy. Somebody ever say I committed suicide? That's capsy. Ain't no mother way he did that. And I'm just kind of saying the same thing about Noble, Young Noble. I didn't know him, but just from watching the way he moves and the way he get down, he was a real ninja. Don't look like the type to put it to his head and spill his own brains out. He don't seem like the type, And I hope people close to him pull a deep investigation on what happened to Young Noble. Yeah. There's not too many rappers that's killing themselves. No, there's not too many that just kill themselves. They get
investigation for sure, man. There should definitely be a deep investigation, man, for sure. Without a doubt, because I feel like there should be more information to it, man. We can't just sit there and make that a fact that it was suicide, bro.
Killed by other people. But when you no information, people want you to go move out the way, they move you out the way and make it look like somebody else did it. So I don't want to put that in the air, but I'm just putting that out there because my antennas went up when I heard about it. Because I just was following everything he was doing here recently. I was following everything. Then all of a sudden, today, he knocked himself off? I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. You know, go check it out down in the comments. Let me know if you guys think Young Noble was really committed suicide. If you know who Young Noble is or you don't, if you was of the generation, you know, let me know if you guys think he really put a gun to his head and ended it all.
Yeah, y'all let me know as well, man. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Do you think, and we better be out of here after that. Do you think that Young Noble really committed suicide, man, or do you think this is a conspiracy theory that he was going on a lot of different interviews, like I said again, interviews and dropping a lot of music where he was saying there's a lot of different things that were going on that a lot of people haven't talked about, man, and I feel like, you know, somebody might have wanted him out of there, man, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, what's up, Kosher? What's up, bro? You want to see something real quick before I go, bro? Let me know. Let me know what you want to see real quick before I go, bro. I'm going to go on to the next video. What you want to see, Kosher? Let me know some in the comments, bro. Let me know some in the comments, bro. You know what? We're going to do one more thing for Young Noble. You know what? Yeah, we're going to play the Young Noble interview, bro. And y'all going to see how he sounds, man. You know what I'm saying? And I go play the whole thing. We just play 14 minutes.
I want to ask you, when Big got killed, what was your reaction?
Oh, when Big got killed, man. I'm gonna have to give you a rundown of that day. That was a crazy.
You know what? Yeah, let's do it, man. We're going to do it.
Young Noble, happy to have you, my man. I guess we could take it from the top, man. I don't want to waste no time. How was it like growing up in New Jersey?
Well, I grew up in New Jersey, but I was born in California.
We gonna be
So
back.
I moved to New Jersey when I was probably 8 years old. Some traumatic shit happened for us. So I was
Gonna be back, man. Y'all enjoy this real quick, man. I need y'all to watch this so you can understand how he was coming, man, what he was coming from, like the way he was coming. It sounds like his mental health at this time, you know, was different what everybody else was saying. So, and he was speaking on a lot of different things, though. So, yeah, I need y'all to really clear your eyes and open up your eye, open up your ears, man. Really listen to what he's saying in this interview, man, because it does get real. And I think that's probably not for sure, but it could be one of the reasons why they would want to take him out, man. So y'all definitely, man, y'all check out this interview real quick, man. I'll be back to put on the next video. Yeah.
born in Los Angeles County in a place called Sierra Madre. I never been there, but my mom, she used to live in Pasadena, and her doctor was in Sierra Madre. So I was born there. She lived in Pasadena, then she moved to Altadena. So I only remember Altadena. And you know, around 8 years old, you know, my brother, I got a big brother and a big sister. They about 8 years older than me. And they twins. My brother was cripping. He was a young cripper, Altadena block crip. And he wound up getting into some shit with our neighbor that lived right behind us and shit. And you know, he used to run with them. They used to rob houses and shit. He was like an older crip. My brother used to run with him. And I guess they robbed the house or something. And next thing you know, the dude that lived behind us, his crib got robbed. He thought my brother did it. Maybe he did. I don't know. I was a little kid. And he came to the house looking for my brother, knocked on the door. My mom opened the door. had a gun to her head, you know what I mean? Threatening to kill her. Mind you, he used to come to our house all the time, eat dinner over there. I thought he was like a, you know, like one of my big brothers or something, but obviously he wasn't. That situation, he came over there, put a gun in my mom's head, held us hostage in there for about an hour. My brother found out about it and went and looking for him. He wound up like shooting at him or shooting him. I don't remember what happened. I was a little kid, but my brother got locked up for it. And he was supposed to do a lot of time as a juvenile, but they wound up working it out for him to move to New Jersey, you know. And so he wound up moving to New Jersey with my grandma Joyce. So he's out there and I'm just like f***ed up. I'm a little kid. My big brother was my superhero. So my mom like, we're gonna move to New Jersey. I'm like, let's go. The day before we about to move to New Jersey, my big sister comes out the house with her boyfriend. He was an older Crip. His name was Sean Queenie. Rest in peace, Sean Queenie. My sister was like 14. He was like 19. And my sister was like, I'm going to the store. What you want? You know, I was like, I still remember. I told her I wanted some juice and some chips, and you know, bring me some juice and some chips back. And she never came back. She ran away. So my mom come home. Where your sister at? I'm like, she went to the store. You know, she never came back with my juice and chips. And she the next day we supposed to leave. Can't find my sister. She ran away. And so maybe like we there for a week. You know, my mom, she done got rid of the crib. We had to sleep at her friend's house for about the week. You know, she sold a house, sold a car, just everything. We about to move to New Jersey. So police report out on my sister. They looking for her. She turns up in about a week and tells my mom she's pregnant and she's not leaving California. You know, so it was like that whole little move to Jersey was a little crazy. My brother, you know, big brother had to move out there from all that shit. Then my sister wound up getting pregnant and she never left California, man. So, you know, that's how I got to New Jersey. But it's crazy because she made the decision to run away. And that's how I end up.
Can I can't swear at a man. Probably not. This is sick. That was 2 clicks.
Oh! Yes, come on.
Chris, turn that co-producer on.
As soon as you put something in, it's a limitless amount of potential ideas.
The fact that I don't have to go to another place and look for a sample, it helps my flow so much.
You have it listen, you type it in, and then you go digging. I mean, that's just kind of fire.
Ooh, this is pretty cool, and it's as simple as dragging and dropping.
Yeah. The fact that you have unlimited credits is so sick with credits and stuff. If you don't want to waste them on things that might not work, there is no might not work. You just pull something in and see if it does.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use it all the time, honestly.
I would recommend this to any producer at any level. This is a must-have.
Yeah, get your co-producer, okay? It'll take you from here to here. Yeah, to up there. Yeah, co-producer.
Being able to come back to California later on in life. So it was almost, you know, worked out crazy, but it wasn't nothing in New Jersey for her anyway, because my mom's was on drugs. It was just, it wasn't really a good situation out there. She wound up going to school and making something out of her life, you know? So me, when I was young, going through all the shit I went through, when it was time for me to be like, yo, I'm sick of the streets, I'm sick of the streets, I actually had a place to go. And, you know, that's how I ended up back in California. You know what I mean? So we get to New Jersey. We moved to Orange, New Jersey. Orange and East Orange. I remember actually when we left California, we stopped in Anniston, Alabama. It was a lady who was supposed to be a family member of ours, but she really wasn't a family member. All I remember about Anniston, Alabama is she used to have big jars of pig feet on her porch and pickles. And I remember I used to hate it. Every time I walked up the goddamn steps, seeing all these jars of pickles and shit. And so I wound up, we were supposed to stay there for a year, but it got cut short. So she put me in school. That didn't last too long. I wound up getting into a fight with it was an albino. It was my first time seeing an albino person. He was like, kid, he was bald, he was a kid. He had a bald head. He was like all white. We wound up getting to a fight, and he started it though. The teacher took him in the back and whooped his ass with a paddle, and took me in the back and whooped my ass with a paddle. And I told my mom. She took me out of school, went up there, cursed everybody the fuck out. They whooped me. I'm like, California, they ain't whooping kids in school and shit. But the lady we was staying with, she was a drunk, and one night she was just talking shit to my mom, and next thing you know, she pulled out a gun and pointed at my mom. I kill your ass, bitch, all this shit to my mom, and we left the next day and moved to New Jersey. Orange, New Jersey. My first school out there was in the back of a projects, Pearl Street projects, and it's like a culture shock to me, moving from beautiful Altadena, California, to we staying like literally right up the street, Pearl Street projects right there, and I went to that school and you know what I mean. So Jersey was cool,
And you, Fatal, and Gaddafi grew up together, right?
Yeah, I grew up with Fatal and Gaddafi in Montclair, New Jersey. I knew them individually before they knew each other. So me and Gaddafi, we the same age. I knew him since 3rd grade, went to Hillside Elementary School, 3rd grade, 4th grade, the whole shit. And I knew Fatal from my neighborhood. I grew up with Fatal. He lived in my neighborhood and shit, I remember the first day I saw Fatal, he was fresh out of juvie, man, fresh out of juvenile hall. I had a big ass afro, little skinny nigga and shit, walking down the Ave, and everybody was just going crazy, like, Bruce, he out and shit, you know what I mean? And so yeah, we grew up together, man, Montclair,
And y'all all used to hustle together, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Used to hustle on New Street. Like I lived on New Street, like right in the center of the block. My house was like a meeting place for, so many kids. Used to be like about 50, 60 kids out there damn near every day, but only like 4 of us actually like lived on the street, So I was definitely, my whole family was real popular in the neighborhood. My big brother was like a real thorough dude out there. He was in and out of jail. I remember Fatal told a story. He went to jail, he went to prison. And, his first day in prison, he like, I don't think this was his first bid. It might have been his second bid or something, but he ran into my brother the first day. He was like, yo, I saw your brother, man, the first day. My brother used to always work in the kitchen and different shit like that. And whoever would come to the prisons from Montclair, my brother would always make sure they was good. So many niggas used to come home from jail like, yo, as soon as I got in there, I saw your brother. He used to hold everybody down and shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, we used to hustle on the same block. Me and Gaddafi, we used to play football together, in the Cobra League, like around 6th grade. That's when he stayed on the other side of town, like it's called the Hollow. I stayed in the 4th ward. So, when we was young kids, he didn't used to come down the way. He didn't start really coming down the way until we started playing football. He played for the Steelers. I was on the Giants, and Steelers was real good that year. They was kicking everybody ass. But that was around the time when Yaki started being out there with us, and we all started hustling young. I sold my first bottles of cocaine. I was 10 years old, man. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, but my mom's was on drugs, man. It was just part of the whole shit, you know what I mean? it's a normal thing in the hood, you know.
Right. So how did y'all get into the music? You, Fatal, and Gaddafi.
Um, Fatal was the first one out of us to get into music. He had a group called The Plague, but in our town he was number one. Like the nigga, I remember we used to be in the park playing ball, and the nigga Fatal used to get like freestyle for like 2 hours straight. Like whoever walking in the park, you know what I mean? They might got dusty shoes on, whatever the case may be. Fatal would just talk about everything. He was the first dude I seen who could literally like just freestyle. I mean, like flawlessly, like not even fucking up. You know what I mean? So Fatal was the first one out of us who was spitting, but he inspired definitely me and Gaddafi. I started writing early. I had a little group called the Five Clips. I was like 12 years old. So we used to, we had a DJ called Quimmy Quim. He's still the Outlaws DJ right now. He had equipment in his house. His father used to manage the Lords of the Underground. You heard of Lords of the Underground?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah. So his father used to manage the Lords of the Underground, you know, and Quim had all the equipment, so he was the DJ for the Plague, and that's where all the music started with us. Quim, his crib, he had the crib we could actually record music at. I still got a tape right now from, I was 12 years old, recording at Quim crib, and that's where they used to record the Plague stuff at. Fatal and the group he had. You know what I mean? Yaki, he wasn't really spitting like that, like around the way, like when we was real young. Maybe a little later, like when he started getting like 15, 16, that's when we knew Yaki could rap too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember Edie saying in an interview before that, he taught Gaddafi how to rap. So yeah, that's dope, man. But I want to ask you about Naughty by Nature. You had beef with them back then, right? Back in Jersey?
Well, Naughty by Nature, when they first came out, we all loved them. Let's start there. We all loved Naughty by Nature. They was repping real hard for Jersey. They was from East Orange. I had a whole bunch of family in East Orange and and so we felt like they belonged to us. They was from 20 minutes away where we was from, and they was killing the whole rap game. So they used to come to our town, Montclair, and go shopping at this store called Lewinsky's. Lewinsky sold all the drug dealer specials, all the Flavor Tims, the Dickie suits, the Carhartts, the Pendletons, all the you used to see Tretch and them wearing in the videos, like the Dickie suits with the long johns under them. They used to come shopping up there. So one day, Vin Rock was up there, and Vin Rock actually remembered the story. I called him one time. I was like, "Yo, you remember this happened?" He was like, "Hell yeah!" He told me all the details and shit. But Vin Rock and a couple of his guys was up in Montclair doing some shopping, and two guys from my hood, Al Tariq and Nico Storm, for whatever reason, got into it with him. I think he like dropped his set. He had one of them old phones. They, got the phone or whatever. I don't even know why they was fucking with Vin Rock, because we all love Naughty by Nature. You know what I mean? And got into a little scuffle or whatever, and it led to like a long time of like back and forth of Montclair and Day Area, East Orange getting to it. Like they used to send carloads of niggas to our hood on a late night. Like, you get caught slipping, you ain't got nothing to do with it. 3-4 carloads of niggas was hopping out. Like it was crazy. Like for a couple months, man. This was when they first came out, OPP and shit. You know what I mean?
Damn, so it got serious then.
Yeah, it got that serious, man. Naughty, they weren't playing no games, and niggas from my hood weren't playing no games either. But yeah, them niggas, they came to the clear, man, and got into it with the homies and shit. Both of the homies passed away, Storm and Al G. But yeah, they got into it with Vin Rock in the hood for nothing, just them being up there. It wasn't about nothing serious, but it turned into some serious shit because Naughty wasn't going for that shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy that they are brothers though. Years later, you know what I mean? So when Pac, when he because Fatal and Gaddafi, you know, they told Pac what happened. And Edie told me Pac was mad about this shit. He actually like wrote a verse one day, like talking shit to them, like leave Tretch alone, like, you know, that's my motherfucking brother and shit, you know what I mean? But Pac wound up talking to Tretch. And once Tretch realized that
Restreams, upload and stream is how podcasters, fashion and beauty streamers, fitness coaches, even business professionals grow their channels. Upload your video to Restream and we'll stream it live to YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, wherever you want. The algorithms love live videos and engagement, so you get more views, more subscribers, and yep, more money. So let Restream get to work while freeing you to generate fresh ideas. Restreams, upload and stream for creators who stream smarter.
the whole beef and shit with niggas from Montclair, and he realized, oh, them is Pac niggas now. Like he actually like let his niggas know. He actually called a meeting and shit with Fatal and shit. You know what I mean? They had a meeting like in the hood, and you know he was letting them know like, you know, y'all rocking with Pac, and that's my brother. And you know whatever we was going through then, that shit is done. And you know what I mean? I guess he spread the word out to all his EO niggas, and you know, it been love ever since. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right when they came, ain't that crazy? Yeah, right when they came out, that shit happened, man. You know what I mean? And we all loved them too, man. We was a little irritated at the homies for, you know, for even doing that. Like, you know, we had love for them. But you know, it's crazy because Yaki Gaddafi was actually there when that shit happened with them, right?
Oh, for real? He was there too?
Yeah. Yep, he was there with them. Yep. It was them and a few other homies. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And speaking of Pac, if I'm not mistaken, the first concert you ever been to was a Digital Underground concert, right?
Yes, it was at North Symphony Hall. I went with Kwame Kwem and his father Hafiz, and it was Digital Underground, Third Base, Big Daddy Kane, Chill Rob G, Queen Latifah. I didn't even know, you know, Pac wasn't Pac then, but he was absolutely on stage dancing. You know what I mean? But a big fight had broke out, like a brawl. Two crews from somewhere, they had got into it, and you know, after a couple of the artists performed, they had shut the shit down. But I was thinking about Shock G one day, and I had called Money B, like, Money B, do you remember this concert? And he remembered it like it was yesterday. He was like, yeah, I remember that shit. You know what I mean? Somebody got stabbed up in there. It was like, it was crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was up in there with Hafiz and Quim, and yeah, man, Pac was on stage dancing with Naughty by Nature at the time. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's a crazy story. So take me through that, man. How did you meet Tupac? How did you and him connect for the first time?
How did it come about? Well, I had moved back to California, getting into a whole lot of trouble.
Artlist's AI voiceover feature allows you to turn your words into voices you never thought you had. Simply pick one out of the many voices that best fits your video, select your desired language, type in the text of your voiceover, and adjust voice settings such as the accent, speed, and emotion. And boom, just like that, you have a high-quality voiceover in only a few seconds. Honestly, you'll be amazed by how good these voiceovers actually turn out.
In my time on this earth, I've learned that the right story can change a person's life.
Especially with videos, you can immerse the viewer into an alternate reality.
If you want to save time and speed up your creative process, then this AI feature is going to change your workflow forever. So head over to artlist.io and check it out for yourself.
Know what's fast? Championship weekend. Know what's just as fast? Finding out your leasing power at Aaron's so you can shop with confidence knowing you're already approved. And now one can get you to the other. Because from now until September 14th, when you apply to discover your leasing power at aarons.com/racing, you'll be instantly entered to win a VIP getaway for two to Championship weekend in Phoenix. If you love fast, come to Aaron's for fast approvals and a chance to win the Aaron's Fast Lane to Phoenix sweepstakes.
I was making a lot of money at the time. You know, I was actually living with an older woman right in my hood. You know, she was like a young Mary J. Blige. I was 16, she was 24. Like I was young, but I was, you know, hair on my face. I was like a whole adult, you know what I mean? And she had 2 kids and I'm holding her down and I just got tired of Jersey, man. I saw my future one day. I was just, you know, my mom being on drugs my whole youth, and my big brother, he started being on drugs and I think what really made me want to leave was when Nico Storm and Al G died. The same 2 guys, you know, that got into it with Vin Rock, you know. That was my first. They died back to back. This was like '95. They died like, you know, like a couple weeks apart. You know, Storm, he was on the streets. I guess he was robbing some dudes in one of the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever happened, and he wound up getting killed. And our homie Al G, he stayed like 3 doors down from me. Al Tariq Bussy, him and Fader was like best friends, man. Al G was like a real gangster, man. He cool as funny as, and he wound up kind of going crazy when Storm died. He was one of his best friends, and you know, us young black men it's hard to deal with trauma. We don't know how to deal with it sometimes, you know. And right after Storm had died, he wound up breaking into the funeral home, and you know, they caught him in there. He was just in there with the shit, you know, with Storm. You know what I mean? I guess he was in there drinking, getting high or whatever. He wanted to see his bro one more time. You know what I mean? But shortly after that, he was with the other homies, and they wound up getting pulled over by the police, and he hopped out and made them kill him. You know what I mean? And the devastation of that, it kind of like made my hood go crazy. Everybody turning against each other, and you know, it was like niggas fighting every day. It just was like I just didn't. It was a horrible time, you know, and I just wanted something better. Just tired of just doing the same shit. I'm like 16. I'm like, it got to be something better for me in life than this shit. I just want to be a kid, you know. I wasn't in school. Like I said, I'm, you know, living with this chick, and you know, I just wanted something better for myself, man. And called my sister and said, I'm tired of this shit. You know, I was in and out the youth house, and you know, it was just real street shit, just every fucking day. And I just saw a vision. I'm like, if I stay out here, my life, like, is this all life about, you know? And called my sister, and she was like, yeah, come on. I bought my ticket. And my girl, she was like begging me not to go, and I was like, something in my spirit is just telling me to go, you know? So I left. And a couple months later, I was rapping with Tupac, you know? Mind you, when I moved to California, I was just writing every day. You know, I knew how to rap. We used to freestyle, you know, every fucking day. That's just what we did in the hood. It was just normal, you know. So when I got to California, I didn't have too many friends, obviously. I liked it like that. You know, knew some girls, met this dude that lived across the street. He was a blood nigga. The whole apartment was Crips. He was the only blood nigga over there. We went to the same school and shit, but his name was Daryl. He locked up right now doing life. But D was cool as shit. You know, I moved to Rancho Cucamonga. That's where my sister lived at. And so I'm writing every day for whatever reason, just to like clear my mind. You know, like in the morning, going to school. I went to start going to continuation school. I used to be writing, like waiting on the bus, smoking a beanie, writing a rap. So for some reason, I was just writing. And one day I came home from school, and my sister said, 2 of my friends from New Jersey is in California, and they called me, and they told her to tell me to call them as soon as I got home from school. She was like, yeah, it's somebody named Fatal. They said they out here with Tupac and this and that. And I called them, and them niggas, they was out there. They're like, yo, where you at? I'm like, yo, I'm out here with my sister. Da, da, da. I gave them the address. They said, nigga, we on our way. The niggas was on their way immediately to come get me. You know, my sister, she kind of put a pause on it. And I get off the phone with them, and she like asking me about them, like, who are they, where they from? You know, I'm like, they from my neighborhood, this and that. And she was kind of worried about me going to see Tupac, because, you know, he had just got out of jail. You know, mind you, I didn't even know he was out of jail. He had just got out of jail from, you know, he had just got shot. And you know, he was in there for the rape, you know, that he was falsely accused of and all that. And mind you, all the headlines. So my sister was like, you know, you sure you want to, you know, you out here, you done with all that trouble shit. Like, you sure you want to go be around like somebody like Tupac? And I'm like, you know what, you're right. You know, like, these are my niggas. I grew up with them. Like, these is my dogs. But, you know, so they got there and, you know, I talked with them. They pulled up in a limo about 45 minutes later. And I ain't just hopping a limo. I talked to these niggas for about 30 minutes, just like picking their brain, like, you know, seeing what the going on. It's just like some out the blue shit. Like, I ain't talked to these niggas since I left New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm out here, I'm like in school, I'm living a good, peaceful life, playing basketball every day. I'm like enjoying just being a kid, not walking out my house. Like, I stay in the middle of the block on New Street. I walk out my house every day. It's 20 niggas outside, you know? So I was like really enjoying that piece of just being a kid. Like, I was like 17 years old, and it was, you know, it was a good thing for me. So my sister, she put me on hold, like, yo, you know, find out what's going on first. So I talked to my guys, and you know, they told me a little bit what's going on, but then was my nigga, so I was going with them, you know. Hopped in a limo, and we went out there and met Pac and shit, you know what I mean?
Pac got mad when they brought you to his house, right?
He wasn't necessarily mad that he brought me there. He was more mad that, excuse me, they stole his limo, you know? So Rancho Cucamonga is probably 45 minutes from Los Angeles. So I guess he was doing an interview or something in his condo. He had a condo on Wilshire. I think it was called the Wilshire House. And once they talked to me, I guess they was like, whatever Pac doing, we going to get no. You know, like, these are my niggas. Like, we been through a lot together. They yeah, so we pull up to the crib, and first thing I see when we get out is Pac's sister. She's getting out of the car as well. I guess she had just got there because he was fresh in California, fresh out of jail. He might have been there like 2 weeks or something. So Fatal and Gaddafi was the first two outlaws he got out there. So I meet his sister when we pull up, Setua. She's pregnant with Edie's baby, Malik. And we go upstairs, Set going first, he give her a hug, and we walk through the door. And he looks at me, and they introduce like, yo, this is my nigga Nob from the hood, you know what I mean? We grew up with him. And he like, yo, nice to meet you, Nob, and he immediately put his attention on these niggas. And he started barking on them, like, yo, what the like, you know, he had a right to. Like, he was busy doing some shit, and these niggas fresh in California, and they steal his limo. You know, he like, yo, what y'all niggas been going for 2 hours. You know, they had no cell phones or no shit like that. So, you know, he was really more mad about that. Then they walk in the house with somebody he don't know. And you know, yeah, so it was a mixture of it. You know what I mean? So he's barking on them niggas about the whole shit. And like, even in the middle of that, I'm like, and my first thing I'm thinking in my head is, I should have listened to my fucking sister. Like, you know, like, what you niggas done got me into. You know what I mean? Like, I'm minding my business. You know. But yeah, he was just barking on them niggas, man. He was upset that they actually stole the limo. But it ain't last long. When I told him, I'm like, yo, you know, no disrespect, Pac. I know you fresh out. I totally understand. I don't let motherfuckers, you know, just strangers coming to your crib. That's just not what it is. You know what I mean? But, you know, yeah, he was like, nah, it's all good. You know, he passed me the blunt and everything and shit, you know. And he walked away. Yaki was like, man, what you talking about? And you know, immediately after that though, he knew who I was, like just from the conversation, you know, me, Gaddafi, and Fatal, like, you know, mind you, they just left the hood. Like they just seen my mother a couple of days ago before they got on the plane. Like they used to hustle. My mom stayed on 146 Bloomfield Avenue upstairs from the Chinese store, you know, so everybody hustled in front of the Chinese store. Like my mom, all the fiends, you know, they were kind of might be 20 niggas out there selling. And you know, they know my mom, know everybody. My mom was like the mother for everybody. Fatal, Gaddafi, she was like the mother for everybody. You know what I mean? So, you know, they used to be all the fiends that come up to my mom and try to get her to go downstairs and do what they do. You know, my mom was a hustler. She used to get money from them and go downstairs to the brothers, all my guys, and get deals from them and all that. So, you know, just from Pop sitting with me and Gaddafi and we laughing and how we communicate with each other, he knew immediately that, you know, I wasn't just some nigga in California, that I actually like grew up with these niggas. Like, you know, these niggas coming telling me, yo, I'm in Cali, they seeing my mom every day and shit, you know, and my brother coming around and, you know, so, you know, he knew who I was that night, that I wasn't just a stranger and shit. So it wasn't really about me, it was more so about them niggas still in the limo. But yeah, you don't just bring no motherfuckers.
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube and all your platforms at once. Get ready for 5 times more engagement and views. Oh, the algorithms love streams and engagement, rewarding you with even more views. While you, sure, that works, upload and stream from Restream.
I'm turning up the heat. I lie, you dropping bombs. You know I got the keys. Pay attention, pay attention. Watch this. I hit different. It's a different kind of flex. I hit different. It's a different kind of flex.
Strangers to your crib, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was definitely out of pocket. So take me through that. Like, how was that like? You coming from Jersey to LA and living that lifestyle?
It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was a little hectic. I remember like going out with Pac and I remember thinking that fame is some different just like us going to the mall, right? And you walk into the mall, we about to go get some sneakers or something, and we walk into the mall and people start charging at us and shit. It's like you don't know if you want to punch somebody in the face or, you know, like I'm talking about, yeah, like you just imagine, you know, you walk into the mall and just all these people start just running at you and shit. I'm talking about like grown ass men and, you know, it was like, you know, being around him and that superstardom, you see how people react to it. And it's like I'm sitting back just watching like that fame is something different. It makes that TV screen and that music and being on the radio, it makes people react to you as a human being like different. Just depends on how they perceive you. You know, I just remember me being a 17-year-old saying, this fame is a weird thing, but we just going outside and all these people just start fucking rushing at you and you know, it's a little crazy, you know?
Yeah, I heard Pac used to move around LA with no security.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, a lot of times it used to just be him and us, you know? A lot of times, for sure. You know, I mean, Pac was a soldier, man, and he was a man of the people, and he wasn't scared of the people, and he wasn't in fear of just the people. You know, he was a people person. He loved his fans and he loved the streets and the strugglers and you know, and that's how he moved, you know. But he definitely used to have security sometimes for sure. He absolutely needed it, but you know, a lot of times it would just be him and us. You know what I mean? Just going wherever it needed to be going. You know. Yeah, he was a mega star, man. He wasn't just like a regular nigga with a platinum album. He was like a mega star, but you know, Pac was he was a real human being. Besides, like, you know, the mega stardom where here it is 28 years later. Like Pac passed away when I was 18 years old. Like I'm 46 years old, man. And you know what I'm saying? He passed. I gotta, yeah, man. He was a real person and real, you know, he had a real heart and a real soul, and he really loved people, man. And he was fearless, man. You know, he was fearless as well. So he wasn't about to be a prisoner to his fame, you know, although sometimes he absolutely felt like that. But yeah, he gonna go outside. We're gonna go to some restaurants. We're gonna ride down goddamn Sunset. He loved riding down Sunset with the top back, you know what I mean? Letting the wind breeze. Yeah, no security, just us and him. Like, yeah, he wasn't scared of living, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he ain't let the fame stop him. So when did you become an official outlaw? When did Pac make it official?
It kind of happened like on accident, you know? 'Cause I was there. I had my outlaw tattoo and I lived in his crib before he heard me rap, you know. Like I used to go there on the weekends. I was still in school. I was 17. I ain't had no vehicle. So, you know, my sister was working all the time. I'll be watching my niece. So I go there on the weekends, you know. And one weekend, this might have been like February, something like that. Um, he didn't want me to go. He like, dog, like enough's enough, you know, like you're supposed to live here with us. And he asked me to drop out of school, and he said, don't worry about nothing. We're gonna figure out something for you to do. You know, my first job was gonna be to design the outlaw clothing line. You know, he saw I was like real creative with drawing and shit. Me and we used to spray paint back in Jersey and shit. So like them shirts that we had on the House of Blues, it had that big outlaw on it. So like I designed that. I drew it out. Pac's sister actually helped me take it from a drawing to put on the shirt, you know what I mean? And you know, so that was the first thing I was gonna be to design the clothes, but he was just like, you know, I was his little brother, man. He like, yo, enough's enough. You know, so I'm living in the crib, and one day I went to go visit my sister. I was like, I need to go see my sister. And I went back, I had all these clothes there. And lo and behold, I see this notebook.
Record, edit, and share your content all in one place with Riverside. One touch recording in crisp 4K. And finesse it with idiot-proof editing. Clean up audio like magic with plenty of ways to make it your own. You can generate viral clips auto-magically. So you can post with confidence. And blow your audience away. Meet your end-to-end content creation platform, Riverside. Try it for free.
And the notebook is full of raps. So, you know, I'm out there on soldier mode, support my brothers Gaddafi and Phil, wanting to see their dreams come to life. Me joining the group never even crossed my mind. I'm like, I'm here for whatever my brothers need me to be here for. I was just there to play my position. You know what I'm saying? And I found my notebook, and I started flipping through it. I opened it up, and the notebook was full of raps. You know, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna take this back to Pac crib with me. Took that back, grabbed some of the clothes I had there, and Edie was the first one that I start kicking my raps to. You know, I'm good at cutting hair, so I used to cut everybody hair, and you know, that was a good bonding tool too. Like when I first met everybody, like when I came back, Fatal like, you still cut hair? Bring your clippers. I learned how to cut hair when I was like 12 years old. I used to cut my whole neighborhood, you know, from the little kids to the grown niggas from jail, you know, right in front of my mama crib. Summertime, 30 niggas out there. I'm, you know, cutting everybody. We niggas hustling, getting to it. But that was a great bonding tool too, man. Me cutting everybody hair. You know, Pac never got time alone. Like it was so many days me and him was in this bathroom and I'm cutting his hair and we got to talk about a whole lot of shit. Like me thinking about it now, it was a great bonding tool for me with all of the guys personally, you know, just having conversations one-on-one during that time. But I'm cutting Edie hair one night, and I'm like, let me kick something for you. Kick the shit for him. He tell all the guys, yo, no dope, man, no dope. Da, 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 da. So a week or two after that, we had to go to the studio to pick up a DAT for Pac. Me and Edie was the only niggas with driver's license. I was 17 with a driver's license. Edie had his license. Fatal, Castro, none of them niggas had driver's license. So, you know, I used to drive or Edie would drive. Wherever Outlaws, you know, would move. So me, Castro, and Fatal, we went to the studio to pick up something for Pac, Can-Am Studio. And the engineer was in there. Nobody wasn't doing nothing. They like bring up a beat. Castro and Edie was gonna do a song, or Castro and Fatal, you know, they wanted to do a song. They're like, yo, no, hop on the song. So I hop on the song and they bring the tape back, play it for Pac. They're like, yo, that's Nob on there. Listen to Nob. Pac heard it like, oh, you sound pretty good. That was that. It wasn't no, you know, it wasn't no big deal. I say maybe like 2 weeks later, we at his Malibu crib, you know. The shit felt like a movie, bro. Like Sally Richardson was there, you know, in his Malibu house, right? And yeah, I always loved her from TV. I think I was in love with her, man. You know, I always loved Sally Richardson. Man, she was in the crib, right? So mind you, his crib was on Malibu. Open up the back, the water's right there. So she's in and out the, you know, she knew what she was doing. She's in and out the water and coming in the house with a bathing suit on. I'm like, this shit like a movie, man. I'm in here with Pac and Sally Richardson. I'm like, this is a movie right here. Mind you, you know, every time she'd walk by, we talking shit to Pac, like, come on, you know she love young niggas. We trying to, you know, trying to convince him to, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, ain't no, you know what I mean? But yeah, he was like, yo, y'all little niggas crazy, man. But yeah, Sally Richardson was there, man. And it seemed like a movie. And Pac was like, you know, he asked me this day, like, yo, let me hear some more raps and shit. And I'm like, all right, I just so happened to have my notebook in the car, you know. And I went out and got my notebook and I kicked maybe like 5 or 6 raps for him. And he went crazy, man. He went crazy. He was actually like the initial response was a little different to me because he was like excited, and then he kind of like got a little mad at me that I been living in his house and I was there when he was recording All Eyes on Me and all this stuff, and I never rap for him. So you gotta understand, anybody who meet Tupac that know how to rap, the first thing they want to fucking do is rap for him right on the spot, you know. And he was like, yo, you could rap, you been rap, you know how to rap this good the whole time and you ain't say nothing. It was like, you know, I was just so humble. I wasn't there to be a rapper. I was there to support my brothers Gaddafi and Fatal. You know, I wasn't trying to impose on what they was doing in no shape, form, or fashion. Like, there's so many pictures I see these days where I would move out the way. Like, I'm not in the rap group. I'm in the Outlaws. I got my tattoo. Tupac paid for my tattoo. I'm the last one he took and got this tattoo. This before he even heard me rap, you know what I mean? And I wasn't trying to impose on what my guys was doing. You know, I was there just trying to play my position however I could help. But he heard me rap and he was like, he said, everybody who think Nob should be in the group, raise your hand. And he raised his hand first. and everybody raised their hand. I'm like, okay. So he I remember what he told me. He said, I saw the excitement. I think his level of respect like went out the roof for me that, I've been around all this months and I'm living in his house and I never like tried to like force any music on him. I didn't really,
You wasn't thirsty or anything.
I didn't even think I was really that good. I just found my notebook, it was just practice for us. You know what I mean? It was just, I wasn't trying to be a rapper. It was not even practice. It was just fun. It was just something to do. I grew up with hip hop. Hip hop just turned 50. I'm 46. Like I breathe this shit, you know what I mean? But I remember what he told me. He was like, you're the youngest member, you're the 7th member. It's like you're the last outlaw. He starts telling me how powerful the number 7 is. I didn't never hear about how powerful the number 7 is. It's something he was expressing to me like, yo, you the 7th member of the group. You know how powerful the number 7 is? He was like, I want you to write more than everybody. He was like, I want you to be better than everybody. Now, all the guys is right here. I'm like, I just kicked a few raps for him. He already like, he decided he was just gonna push me to the front of the group for whatever he saw in me, And that's what he did. He started putting me on songs immediately. Like my Hail Mary rap was in the book, I wrote that at my sister house. You know what I mean?
How did Hail Mary come about?
That was started working on the album Machiavelli, and we went to the studio one day and Tyrone Heard Him Bad was in there and he had that beat on. And I remember Pac playing the beat and I didn't like it. Like I didn't think like, oh, I'm about to rap on this song. The beat was too slow. I was a young East Coast dude. I like that knock, you know what I'm saying? That East Coast knock or, just a dope beat. I did not like the Hail Mary beat at all. It was just too slow. It felt like church. And I just was like, I don't know where he's gonna go with this song. And as soon as we got in there, he was like, well, he gonna get on this. And he told me to, he like, yo, I want you to write a verse to this. I told him I didn't even want to rap on Hail Mary. Ain't that some shit? I'm like, yo, I hop on the next joint. I hop on the next joint. This joint too slow, man. He said, I need to hear your voice on this. And I'm like, all right, cool. I opened my book up, read a few pages, and I found peep the whole scene and whatever's going on around me. You know what I mean? I kicked the phone. He said, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. We're gonna use that. And then he said, write a hook. I never wrote a hook before. I'm like, you want me to write a hook? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't even want to really rap on this song. It's feel like church to me. I don't know, where you going with this. But he told me to write a hook. I said, all right, cool. Mind you, I ain't hear nothing he did. He's just still writing. I come back, I wrote one real quick. If it's on, then it's on. We rate beat breaks, outlaws on a paper chase. Can you relate? The shit. And I kicked the phone and he was like, oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope. We're gonna say that for the end. We're gonna put that after your verse. And he goes in the studio and, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Hail Mary. And Castro laid his verse, and then I laid my verse, and then I laid the hook, and then Gaddafi laid vocals over the hook as well, And we finished the song. And I still didn't like it, I didn't like Hail Mary until till I heard the mixed version. I didn't like Hail Mary till I heard the mixed version. And I was like, oh, this is kind of banging. But I honestly thought it was gonna be like, I didn't think it was really gonna make the album, to be honest with you. I didn't think Hail Mary was gonna make the album. It just didn't, I didn't hear it, I didn't hear it. Like, everybody, it's a national anthem all across the world now, but in real time, it just felt slow. It didn't, I don't know. I thought it was, once I heard the mixed version, I was like, it's definitely banging more. The beat was dropped out, we was mixed, our vocals sounded good. But I think after I heard it a few times, I start thinking, all right, this is a pretty cool record. But it didn't really hit, until like it came out and everybody, you couldn't you couldn't go outside without hearing it being played in the car, you know, and it came out after he died, you know, so it was like it was so bittersweet for me hearing myself on the radio for the first time and Tupac was dead, you know. It was horrible, honestly.
Speaking of Hail Mary, right? Why wasn't you and the Outlaws in the Hail Mary video?
We didn't, you know, this was after Pac died and we wasn't in California and they just didn't reach out to us about it, you know. I was like I seen the video on TV, you know, it came on and we was somewhere and somebody called me and they're like, yo, the fucking Hail Mary videos on TV. And I see the video and I see actors in there, you know, sitting on the couch and playing video games, whatever the fuck they was doing. But I was kind of crushed, to be honest with you, you know. I was kind of crushed. You know, my first single, you know, my first song that I'm on that I'm hearing myself on the radio and, you know, Pac is he had just died on us, man. And hearing myself on the radio and you know, I couldn't be happy at all about it. It was like almost to be like hearing it and be like turn the radio off, but it was no escaping it. The song was just being played every car that passed, you know, you was hearing Hail Mary, you know what I mean? So, you know, for Pac to die and, you know, they shoot the video for it and, you know, we don't even get a phone call. It was kind of like, you know, damn, you know, where's the love? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, like that whole thing with us, like Pac died September 13th, 1996. Machiavelli album dropped November 5th, 1996. And Gaddafi gets killed November 10th, 1996. So, I mean, it was like, you know, the album come out, I couldn't feel happy about it because Pac was gone, and then Gaddafi dies 5 days after the goddamn album come out. So, you know, 96, like my introduction year was crazy, you know. So Gaddafi died, you know, then Fatal like rapping, I'm done with this. The day Gaddafi died, Fatal left the group. You know, these are niggas I grew up with. You know what I mean? Fatal, you know, he called the house. He was like, "Fuck all this shit. I'm not rapping no more. Period. Niggas is dead. Fuck that group shit. No, I love you." Da da da. But you know, it was a crazy time. You know, like even with Gaddafi passing, like I'm the one who had to, you know, got the phone call. Mind you, I was just in New Jersey with them. Pac's memorial was in Atlanta on November 10th. So I was just in New Jersey. Fatal and Gaddafi. I just remember the conversation. Both of them was just like they didn't want to come to Atlanta, you know. And Afeni was, you know, she wanted us to be there to rep for Pac on November 10th for his memorial. You know, she begged us, like, I know y'all don't feel like performing. I know y'all still grieving and hurting, but she begged us, please come perform at this memorial. And me and Napoleon was in Jersey as well. We both was like, all right, you know, we all gonna do it. I just remember the conversations with me and Fatal and Gaddafi, and they was like, "F that shit." You know, they didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? But they promised me that they was going. I left before they did, and they promised me they was gonna get on the plane and come out there and do this performance with us. And they missed their flights on purpose. You know, it was Fatal, Gaddafi. Us growing up, Gaddafi kind of followed Fatal. You know, he looked up to him like a lot. You know, and he kind of followed him. And Fatal was the main one really like that. And Gaddafi was right there with him, like, you know, we don't want to do that. And they didn't catch their flight. You know, so the day before the memorial, I had talked to Yaki, my last time talking to him, and it wasn't a good conversation. I kind of cursed him out. I was a little disappointed. You know, he called the house and
We gonna end it right here, man. That's 48 minutes, man. Rest in paradise to Young Noble, man. And like I said, bro, I feel like people need to do more research on it before they could just pin it to be a fact that it was a suicide, man. We off to the next video, man. We out of here. Peace. We gone. Appreciate everybody liking, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so I know y'all there so I can throw this units in the air, man. We out of here.